We have like 50, 60 people online. Let's see how many actually might hop over. It's only
Okay,
7 people reacted.
I'm starting the recording here. I remembered myself, so
Good.
Okay. I'm live on my channel. I'm just checking
all
up on it.
right. And I'm getting ready to go live right now on Facebook and Disney Arena Pro on YouTube. Go live.
We
Okay. Well, now that this is going in the background, we can actually check out what's the interesting stuff that's happening. We could ignore the stuff that's happening on the screen, assuming that I may or may not actually win this one.
The 3 Jack-Jacks running across the screen.
Well, we're actually live now on Facebook. I'm going to go ahead and do the intro. So,
Perfect.
hello, Summoners. This is Yonks with Disney Arena Pro and hanging out with Mint Choco Chip and some crew over at the Sigma Clubs Cluster. So, how are you doing this evening, Mint?
Doing good. Glad to be here. Fun to do another stream, but this week is gonna be pretty heavy with streams for me. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I haven't made any hard plans on what my plan is to do tomorrow, but glad to be here. Glad to be playing. Been a busy day over in Sigma, so it's good to take a little break to come over and talk with you and talk with some of the other leaders here. Why don't we have them introduce themselves and talk about what their role is within the Sigma cluster, and then I can talk a little bit about my role in there as well.
Awesome. So we've got Rogues One and Jello Shot. So are you going to do the introductions, or are they doing their own introduction?
Well, Rogues One, you go explain yourself, and then we have Jello go.
All right, I am Rogues One, the Master Chief for the Sigma Alliance. Well, I also run our one club, Turn Down for Walt, and I've been a part of Sigma almost since the beginning. So that's just my little introduction.
Spectacular. And Jello?
I'm Jello Shot. I'm the leader of our newest club, Sigma's New Groove, which is a mid-competitive club that we're starting to get up and running. And I'm also the chief of training. So I help train all of our new leaders and all of our captains and help identify some of those people as well for our clubs.
Awesome. So let's actually take a step back real quick, and for anybody that may be new to the game, let's actually talk a little bit about what the main benefits are for being with a club, and then after that, let's talk a little bit about like what the Sigma Clubs cluster is and stuff like that. So
yeah, so I'll go kind of on the high level. Feel free to check out my video, which I posted, I think it was yesterday, where I talk a little bit more about this in depth. But kind of like a lot of people who are new to the game, this is kind of their first time ever playing a mobile game, won't necessarily get the experience, understand the experience of being in an alliance. So the fundamental benefit is that if you're in an independent club, which is just like you're just your club and you have like even your own Discord, you are basically your own community is just 50 people, right? Like you're not getting, there aren't 100 people in the club because you only have space for 50 people. You might have some other people from other clubs kind of showing up here and there inside of your Discord and things. But other than that, you're restricted to just a community. While what we offer as a cluster and what alliances offer more generally is that you have the ability to really get a lot out of a large community. So benefits such as a larger organization is a really huge one. Benefits such as if you're a brand new player, there are very active players since launch that are here that know a lot about the game, play all the time, have spent a good chunk of money too. So you're getting like the benefits of, even though I'm a beginning player, it's almost as if I'm in a competitive club because I have access to all those people. In addition, we have the ability to organize at a much higher level than if you were just kind of sitting by yourself in your club. We have like countless people working on Conquest, for instance, all the time. Just as a really quick example, there's a lot of different ways you can run it. So we have leaders that run Conquest within the clubs that work together with the other leaders for Conquest. Potentially, they can ask people. And we have a chief of Conquest who's in charge of running the general strategy for everybody. So they see at the high level how all the clubs are doing in Conquest and can help them out as they need, work with them on building the strategy, give them tips. Something you just don't get if you're just sitting in your own club.
Right.
But that's kind of like a lot of the other benefits. I mean, if Rogues or Jello has anything else to add, I guess recruiting is another huge one. Sometimes it's hard to recruit just for one club. And if you were to happen to get, like a 51st person to come in to try to join, you have no space for them. But here we can grow, we can expand. We're constantly bringing new clubs in, creating new clubs even, which we've just recently done. But at a high level, it's kind of like a lot of the main benefits that we see that I personally am very invested in as well. I don't know if Rogues or Jello have anything else that they'd like to add as far as like the benefits there.
Honestly, you covered most of it. My only thing was one of the main reasons I love an alliance like this is the community, the amount of people who are invested in the game. And there is the official Discord for that, but there's more of like a unity since we're all kind of under the same banner of Sigma. And just having like, I think we have 360 people on our channel. And just having that many people who are that invested in the game with me is just so much fun to have.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. That's pretty spectacular as far as what you guys have done here. And Sigma is just a global launch clubs network, correct?
Yeah, we don't have any. Hold on, give me a sec. Got sound coming from everywhere. And hold on. I have too much noise coming in. I don't know what was happening there, but fundamentally, a lot of clubs that feel that either have to be pushing for strong are usually like those beta clubs, the ones that are doing a lot, that have already have like those really high summoner scores to begin with because they're at beta, and we didn't get into beta. We didn't have any members that wanted to, and we haven't been actively recruiting any beta players. So every single person as of right now is a launch player. So it's not that we hate beta players and we will never accept them into our club, but as of right now, every single member has been from day one.
Nice. That's spectacular. I was actually going to show. So one of the things that we were talking a little bit about is what the process would look like for somebody coming in. So I've actually got on my iPad over here, and I'm going to switch to that right now, firing that from Mrs. Yonks, and be just a second when I start sharing that screen. All right, that should be coming up here pretty soon. So this is actually a recruitment message that Jello Shot just posted over there. So for those that may be listening to this or watching, one of the ways that you can find a club is through the official Disney Sorcerers Arena Discord. And there's a channel here, like whenever you come into the Discord server for the first time, you'll end up here in rules. And then after you accept the rules, then you'll have full access and you can kind of see those channels over here. And for those that may be listening to the podcast, check out the link here. We'll have some videos in the show notes. But taking a look at the message over here, this is the post that Jello Shot just made for the recruitment message. So for those that may be looking for a club, this is kind of like a way that you could find it. So let me actually just go ahead and click. And it looks like you guys are just look, check that out. 400 members on your Discord server. So congratulations on breaking through. And when Mrs. Yonks pops in, she'll be number 401. So this is what it looks like here when somebody joins your Discord server. So kind of walk me through what that process looks like for somebody that's thinking of joining your club.
Yeah, absolutely. So Rogues is going to be handling that on our end, what we see, and I'll kind of be talking through a little bit about what he's doing as he's doing it. So kind of like one of the other things, I guess I didn't get to mention this, but one of the really great things that we have within having a cluster is that we don't require you to be doing something that is uncomfortable for you. I guess like fundamentally that's really what we want. We don't want people to feel like they're in a club that they're going to be uncomfortable with, that just because you want to be competitive, you're not being held back by like people at the bottom of the summer score in your club, as just one example. Or if you are kind of only okay, like you just want to play the game for fun, like you're not in it to win it, you're not in it to be spending all your money. Well, you have a home because we have all these different tiers. So when you come in, what we first ask is we say, hey, like, can we see your profile? Can we see your summer score? It does give us a couple of other things that we like to see. And that's one of our main metrics that we use in sorting. But then what you get is after you kind of put in that screenshot of your profile that will tell us a little bit about your club. So the profile, make sure to put in the summoner score. That perfect. So you're going to get there. Rogues is going to see it. He's going to be able to say, hey, this is what we got open. Going to ask a couple other questions just to kind of see what you're looking for so you can find the perfect home in Sigma. So we do have that top tier alliance, that top tier club, the one that I'm representing, but we have clubs in the mid competitive and the low competitive tier. And so the whole drop zone process is you come in, we figure out where you fit based on how much you want to play, how competitive you want to be playing, potentially how much money you're going to be, like, you expect to be spending. I mean, we would never ask, we're not tracking that, but you're like, yo, like, I really like this game, I'm probably going to be throwing my wallet at it. Then we have a place for you to make sure that you're able to be with people like that. Once you kind of answer that question, then we can look at where the openings are, and we can kind of say, we're just, we have an opening at a club that you fit the requirements for, that seems like fits the play style, based on your summoner score and based on what you tell us. And we're able to set you up with those roles, open you up to the other parts of the server, and get you right in there. Now, this also is available for people that are not members and aren't necessarily interested in joining right now, but want to be part of our community. We do have the ability to have friends and have guests as well. So some of the other members of the community have come over and joined us. So Yonks is in here, for instance, as a friend. We have a couple other people, some other people from other clubs that we've talked to. They're like, well, I don't really want to join, but I want to be here as a friend as well. So it's kind of like a really great place. Everyone's welcome in. We try to prioritize as much as possible people that are interested in actually joining. So Rogues is going to do like how we respond to that question. And then we can kind of show you what it looks like if you were to get tagged and if you were to be joining. Well,
and to clarify, in case I've got anybody from DisneyArenaPro, the in-game club, watching this, DisneyArenaPro, the official in-game club, is not like looking to join Sigma. So I'm just putting that out there. That was actually something that I was hoping to communicate to my club members, but figuring out all this multi-stream stuff today didn't really do. So this is more of just kind of giving everybody a walkthrough example here. Mrs. Yonks is not going to be leaving the DisneyArenaPro official in-game club. So her free-to-play player account is doing pretty spectacular here.
And Rogues has actually highlighted one of our other really big things is that if you fit into a club that you would be able to join, we actually are able to say, well, we have a waiting list. We have other clubs that are available. And so even if the perfect spot for you isn't open right now, we can give you a home, and movement within it is free. So I'll actually let Jello kind of touch on this a little bit. about what would happen in this case where you are able to fit into a club that just doesn't have openings right now. I'll let Jello take this one.
Yeah, so it's sometimes we have members come in or a recruit come in that wants to join one of our high competitive clubs, and it might be full, but we have room in our mid competitive club, for example, like in Sigma's new groove, since that is our newest club. We have a lot of openings in it right now. And so what we would do is we would recommend you to join Sigma's new groove and put in a movement request internally to move from Sigma's new groove to one of our high competitive tier clubs. And once you were allowed, once they had an opening, they would reach out to you and they would say, hey, Mrs. Yonks, for example, like we have a spot in Sigma Kingdom now. Were you still looking to join us? And then Mrs. Yonks could be like, oh, yeah, I was still looking to join. I'd love to move up to Sigma Kingdom. And Sigma's New Groove leadership would say, have fun. We loved having you in Sigma's New Groove, but have fun in Sigma Kingdom. You're free to leave. That's one thing that's really important to us as the Sigma cluster is we will never stop. We will never hold someone back from moving to a new club. If you want something more competitive or less competitive, you're free to leave and join one of our other clubs in our alliance, or even leave our cluster altogether if that's what you choose. But that's one thing that we find really important is we don't believe in feeder clubs, and we would never make you move to a club that you don't want to be in or hold you into a club that you don't want to be in.
Those are all of our different clubs with some of their requirements that you're scrolling through right now. We post those and we can advertise those for people who kind of want to base it more on the requirements, because we do have people who like, hey, I want to be able to do 5 PvP arena wins every day. I want that to be a requirement. So then we direct them here and they can check out which club best fits their play style. Starting at the top with the first one made.
Mm-hmm. Yonks, I think you're muted.
I was indeed. So talking to the camera there. So thank you for that. I had to clear my throat off of while I was on mute. So one of the things I was asking about there when I was looking, kind of bouncing around your Discord server the other day, I saw where you guys are doing this bracketing, where you tell me a little bit about that, like where you're doing some polling there for your community to engage them. I thought that was a pretty spectacular and fun thing. So
would you like me to put that for that account so you can open it up?
It's in there.
Yeah.
He has access. It's game show under general.
Oh yeah, you could see it.
Okay, cool. Here, so yeah, this is what I was talking about. I thought that this was super fun here, where you guys are getting. So tell me. You can see here, like there's some pretty good engagement on this quarterfinals for Toy Story versus Nemo. Looks like you got is that more Toy Story fans in there, or no, Lion King?
That one's Lion King versus Aladdin. At the top, it was the results for the previous one.
Oh yeah, there. I got you. I'm tracking with you now.
So this was just purely because of our chief, I can never say that right, Francis. But he just came up with it. He wanted to have something engaging and fun for the community. So he was like, can I have my own channel to do this? And we're like, here you go. Do what you want. So every time he's up and at 'em, which it's about 2 a.m. for me because he's in the Philippines, but he'll update the bracket and then he'll post the next one. And we've been going since like the 3rd week Sigma's been created, because he does one per day, and that was a lot of movies to cover.
No, it looks like you guys are getting close to the final 4. So that's pretty spectacular, right? And I guess that's because we had no March Madness here this year, but yeah. anyway, so that being said, like so with my expectation, and I don't know if that'll be accurate or not, with people on stay-at-home orders and a lot of all over the world, really. Do you have you had any conversations about what that may look like if people's gameplay switches, or how that you guys will adopt or adapt from that if people's play patterns start shifting dramatically when the world starts turning back on here?
Absolutely. We do, of course, we hope that nothing major happens, but we do understand that a lot of people were coming here just due to their being stuck at home, and this is a fun game to get away from everything. And we do have a plan in place for when the stay-at-home order is lifted, if we do have a bunch of people quit the game. We basically are just going to try and hold together as many clubs as we can, and we hope we can keep every single club still active. It just will depend on how many people will still play afterwards. Gotcha. And we can say if the person says that they're going to be more busy, we're going to try and see if they're going to stay with the game and maybe just move down to our casual club, okay, or if they're just going to leave entirely, which is completely fine and we understand, but we're going to try and keep them in our casual club if they'd like to still play the game.
That makes sense, and that's very fair. So I thought I would just kind of bring that up because I know that that's something that's kind of on my mind, because I'm also in a similar situation as a fellow club leader. So that's when you were talking about the recruitment struggles, I could definitely relate to that, and I'm very fortunate. I've got a really solid club that I'm involved with now. So, but I can empathize with the struggles that club leaders go through as far as getting their club ranks filled. It was kind of funny before I started DisneyArenaPro, or before I even got involved, even more so. I was like, yeah, well, I can definitely see the value of a club. So I started my own club, and then it's like, okay, well, I think I did that for like a day or two, and I was like, okay, well, I need to go find another club because I'm not getting all the goods that the club benefits provide. So,
I was very fortunate to find Sigma on my third day of playing.
Nice. Oh, so you didn't, because there's a lot of Sigma crew that came over from Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that was Mint. I know Mint did. I think Jello was just one of our recruitments from the official Discord, if I'm right.
No, I was in a club when I first started the game, and I wasn't really benefiting from some of the club benefits because the club wasn't very active. So I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna look for a new club, and I'm gonna try to find one that's on Discord because I know that's a valuable resource. So I was just clicking through, and I happened to click on one of the Sigma clubs, and it was like, hey, join our Discord. So I just clicked, I joined the Discord, dropped in, and I started with Uzma Kappa Sigma, which is our casual club, and I started leading that one. And then I moved up, and now I'm leading our mid-competitive club, Sigma's New Groove, with Mint.
Okay, I did not know that. Well, that's awesome, because we do post a Discord link in every single club description in case anybody's interested in getting a hold of us for that club. But for me, I joined the day after global launch, and about the second day or third day, I figured, hey, this seems like a game that I actually really want to get into. So let's see if this game happens to have a Discord yet, because I want to get competitive. So I looked and I joined the official Discord. All I did was post my club, not looking for a club. And then all of a sudden Grim private messaged me, who Grim helped set up the Sigma branch. He runs the Marvel Strike Force one for Sigma, but he helped set up the Disney Sorcerer's Arena one. So he was there for the beginning days. He's still there, but just not as active as he was. And so now He private messaged me, and I was like, "Hey, this guy seems cool." I join up, and I was so impressed with Sigma that I've been here ever since.
Spectacular. Love hearing that. It'll be exciting to see where you guys take this, and I'm super excited about the game. I think it'd probably be fair to say that I'm probably older than most of the guys here on the channel, and I've not been this excited about a game in like over a decade myself. So might be dating myself a little bit by saying that, but yeah, so that's one of the reasons that I started Disney Arena Pro, and I was actually going to bounce over to the Mighty Networks. I know that you guys Rogues One had started playing around a little bit about, and this is the Mighty Networks app, which we and let me go back to the main page over here, and in the clubs and channels we've got let's see. Sigma down here. So this is if somebody's coming in through the Mighty Networks, and that's one of the things I was talking to you guys a little bit about before we went live here, was super excited about the capabilities and what we'll be doing here coming down the road as far as giving you like club leaders tools to kind of differentiate yourselves as far as attracting quality players, because that's one of the things that I know within our own in-game club, that some of our best club members actually were attracted to our in-game club at Disney Arena Pro through just what I'd done here. And fortunately, I'm not in a situation where I'm wanting to build out my own clubs network at Disney Arena Pro. And that's one of the things that I'm loving to have conversations with you guys. And like, not going to talk too much about the Club Leaders Guild, but that's something that everybody will have more things coming forward with as far as resources that we're putting together here at Disney Arena Pro to support club leaders such as yourselves. And on that note, if somebody's interested in being on one of these Gameside chats, as far as from a club leader standpoint, feel free to reach out to me. I'm not hard to find in the Disney Sorcerers Arena community. So going back to the engagement piece, we talked a little bit about the bracket that you guys did. So one of the other things that kind of caught my eye, and I don't know how often that this has occurred, but with Club Conquest, I would say this is really, and I don't know if you all would agree with me, and those have been playing since launch know that there was some technical difficulties, needless to say, with Club Conquest, and I'm super pleased that Glue has gotten those issues resolved. So I think that it would be fair to say that this is really the second stable weekend of Club Conquest. So that being said, where I was going with this, have you with your clubs network, have you guys had any like Sigma Club A versus Sigma Club B or whatever? And I'd love to hear those stories.
Yeah, I'll let Rogues take that one. He was a part of that, actually. He was on the losing side, though. Just want to make that abundantly clear to everybody.
Come on, you got to give me credit. Oh man, there was a reason for that. We could have had them. He even admitted it. All right, so we had our two clubs, both mid competitive, of Turn Down for Walt and House of Villains. So this was two conquests ago. Yeah, two conquests ago. We got paired together, and we basically were just like, crud. Well, let's ironically hope that this weekend it crashes so we both can just get first place rewards. It didn't, so our plan was just to both work together and evenly take out the third team's towers. We did that, and then it's just go all out on each other. As soon as we started attacking each other, it was abundantly clear that House of Villains had better rosters than us, even though we were listed as higher summoner score. And that's fine. I'm not going to complain. That's just the way it worked out. They had most of their members had at least a 4-star Simba. They had 2 Zergs, and we didn't have any yet at the time. But
so what's just for those that may not be familiar with Club Conquest or Simba, how's that? Why is that important?
True, very true. So the reason why those two were very important characters to take note of was Simba has probably one of the best leaderships in the game besides Shan Yu, but the one thing is it only works for Club Conquest on defense, and I'm pretty sure I can't remember exact percentage off the top of my head, but he gives extra health if I'm not mistaken. It's like 20% maximum extra health while defending, I think. I'll have to pull up my game and look. And of course my game has crashed. But basically, at like 2-3 star, he's not that powerful. While when you get to like 4-star, he's very, very powerful and hard to kill. Okay, here we go. Teammates receive 20% bonus maximum health while defending in club wars. So that just is an issue already. And most of their club had Simbas while we just had mostly basic teams. That's just the way it happened to work out.
So here's an extra huge hack, and I don't even want to call it that because it's probably a fair mechanic, but we actually saw a Simba team that had that club bonus or the leader bonus that you were talking about, and it was paired with Black Cauldron, the one that drips the extra magic. And it was pretty ridiculous about how well that Simba team because he can basically keep a revolving taunt and then it does something with the heal. And I don't know if you guys, I don't have much experience playing Simba myself because I think he's one of my level 1 characters that I just barely unlocked there. But it was pretty ridiculous, like that Simba team with the Black Cauldron. So those that have Simba and those that have the Black Cauldron spell, highly encourage you to take a look at that. It was a dynamite duo, and we saw that from one of our opponents that we were attacking here in this last weekend's Club Conquest. I don't know how many of our offensive teams lost to that defensive team, but it was definitely pulling way above its deck power weight as far as from a defending that particular base.
Mm-hmm. The one that was giving us issues was a 6-star Simba with foul play, and now I don't know why that one gave our club so many issues, but I think it took us about 6 teams to take it down. But that conquest, I had a plan to basically, when I saw that we were outmatched, I came up with a plan to keep our top 15 teams, and then as soon as House of Villains started using up all their good teams on our front line, they started getting cocky and just trying to demolish as many teams as they can. We would just cut through their defenses straight to their back line and cut off their main tower from their other towers and place our best defenses there, and they would have nothing to get through it.
Nice.
Now here's the issue. About 2 hours in to Conquest, as we're baiting them to get rid of their best teams, I start having my members drop like flies. I lost 5 of our hardest hitters in the middle of that conquest for almost no reason. One of them had a reason, but the other 4 just dropped absolutely for no reason, and that created some complications. We tried to keep getting through their lines, but we only got halfway through before we ran out of teams.
Yeah, so. It'll be real interesting to see. So one of the talking about Club Conquest, one of the things for those that aren't real familiar, you can only bring 30 characters from an offensive perspective, but you can have 50 defensive. So as the more that our rosters grow with additional characters, it'll become even more important to be very intentional with those finite and more finite offensive resources than what opponents have or yourself has as far as defensive resources. So
Yeah, and we won't go into too much more of the strategy there because we got a lot of tricks up our sleeves that make it so that we've been able to keep a pretty clean record. But I mean, like
Absolutely.
fundamentally, it's a lot of fun for us. We promise to work together only to other people's detriment, but we're never going to make it so that we are easier on each other ever. I think it's actually more fun when Sigma gets up against Sigma, especially like in PvP and in Conquest, because it's a real great opportunity for us to make poke fun at each other. And uh, we made a whole separate chat for that Conquest just to make sure that they knew that they had a space to trash talk each other because it's all in good fun. In the end, we're all part of the same group, and uh, obviously it's fun to mess around. But in the end of the day, we are still all from the same club in the larger sense. So we get to enjoy it, but we also get to poke fun.
Yeah, no, that it sounds like you guys have set up a pretty spectacular situation there at Sigma. And like I said, I'm looking forward to as a guest there to see how things unfold, and looking forward to what we're creating here at Disney Arena Pro 2 to foster what because our tagline here at Disney Arena Pro is the most fun gaming community. So we have a place whether you're in a club or looking for a club or a club leader or just a player that's wanting to, experience some of the fun that we've got going on here, like hanging out on these Gameside chats, and looking forward to having more of those come. And on that, does anybody want to say some closing words here as far as why you should join Sigma or some other fun things that you've got planned, just kind of as a teaser?
I can go really quick. One of the things that we actively try is that we want to bring a larger community. So no matter how much you think that this would be like us trying to find ways to like grow our brand or whatever, the reason we have a brand is because we are super committed to the community. We don't ever we care about every single one of our members. Every single member has to basically be invited into to be a part of what we have because when you drop into the drop zone, we're inviting you, but then you have to meet one of our leaders in order to actually be inside of a club. Every single person has the ability to have interactions with the leadership all the time, to talk to people that are outside their club. The best thing that we offer and the thing that we are very passionate about with everyone is that we have a great community. We're trying to foster the best community we possibly can. And it really does matter to us that everybody in there is happy. They have a community, that they have a club that fits with the way that they want to play, and that they aren't forced to do things just because they're part of a really strong club. We don't want people to feel like this is their full-time job. We want people to come. We want them to stay. We want them to play. But it's all because we're enjoying it. And we want them to. We've had a number of members that continually join, that come and are telling us constantly like I love the community that's here. Like I'm here because I really love the people and I love having the ability to, like, it feels like it's so much fun over here. Before it was like such a drag, or I felt like I was being pushed to do something I didn't want to, I wasn't ready for. Um, we've even had people that come from poorly run clubs or clubs that were disbanding that we're able to bring over here and keep them in the game because are passionate about giving them that opportunity and making sure that they have every opportunity that they can. A really great example of this is Kudzu, who just came from Jedi High Council. Came over and has just been a massive part of our street rat community. We've had others that have also come from there, and uh, it's just awesome to see that we were able to keep someone in the game that wasn't turned off entirely, that wanted to keep playing, and that's really like what it's all about. We're trying to find ways to make people enjoy the game beyond just how can I spend my money, how can I complain about how the devs are out of touch with reality. Like we really want you to come here to feel like this is fun. This is why the game's fun. It's not because it's Disney. It's not just because I have a really great way to spend $200 every month, but because I have like 49 other people plus 350 more outside of my club that I can talk to every single day. I'll let Rogues and Jello do theirs as well because I'm pretty sure they have other things they'd like to add.
Well, yeah, and Rogues, speak, because you were talking about a pretty high number there as far as a monthly spend that might make some people like just freak out. And I think that the game as it exists, especially if you follow some fairly formulaic at the first uh, progression moves, that I think the game is still very fun as a complete free to play player. And like one of the things that they've done. Like right now, we've got the double gyms offer for completing the Tapjoy offers, where people that are free to play players, and I know that those offers vary, especially it's probably much more geared for people that are here in the US from what I understand, but there are some international offers available, and that's just a way that the developers have made the game more accessible for people that don't have a budget to spend, you know, 10 or 20, let alone hundreds of dollars a month. You want to talk to that,
Absolutely.
Rogues?
Yes. I can really relate to that because I am a free to play player. I've always been a free to play player. And personally, I came from Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, not with Sigma, but I'm still playing that game. But my issue with that game, why I came to Disney, was just because of how hard it was to progress. Because like as soon as General Skywalker came out, I looked at all the requirements, and it took me a whole year to get them from scratch as a free to play player. But I got him as soon as he came out. There's now already two. I mean, as soon as I got him, there's already two new people that can already counter him. When I got to Disney, I was like, this is very different. There's a very different way to play this game, and I'm enjoying playing it from a free to play perspective. And like, it's very interesting in our community because we have the high high number of people on both sides of the table, the spenders and the free to play players.
Right.
No one looks at each other differently. Everyone is just trying to help each other. Some of the free to play players, they're able to school some of the spenders on who to get and who to get up and who you just wasted time on. And then you have some of
Sure.
the spenders who are like, oh, hey, I know you're not able to pay for this character, so maybe go for this character because this is a good one for you just starting out in the game. So we have a very good community there, and I feel like it's very good for us free to play players. And this game's, I feel, very definitely free to play friendly.
Well, it's good to hear that, and I know that I get to spend some cycles on Mrs. Yonk's account, and that's also a free to play player account. So I will definitely echo those sentiments. And my account is not. Those that watch my live stream on Sunday, I just 7-starred Zerg, so I was very pleased about that. I've been getting a little pew pew action and been climbing the PvP arena rank ladder much easier since getting him 7-starred. So he was actually my first 7-star character. So I'm going to take a look here while we're getting close to wrapping it up, see if there's any questions. I know that we're streaming on, and I feel really good. This was a new echelon here for me as far as we're currently live streaming on YouTube on not only the Disney Arena Pro channel. So make sure that you subscribe if you want more content here from myself on Disney Arena Pro. If you're tuning in on Mint Choco Chip's channel and you haven't subscribed to his channel, make sure that you subscribe there. And then this is actually the foray on live streaming on Twitch. I have no idea if anything's going on over there because this is functionally our first live stream and not really set up to see anything coming in from the various channels. But that being said, I'll let you, Mint, take a look and see if you've got any questions coming in from the audience here. And I'm taking a look over here on the YouTube. I know that Rogues One has been pretty actively engaged over there as far as keeping up. So appreciate your engagement there, Rogues, here during the live stream and stuff. So yeah, do you guys have any final thoughts while we're waiting for any potential questions to come in from those that are tuning in with us here tonight?
I'll let Jello see if he has anything he'd like to add from here.
Yeah, I think another thing that's kind of really great, even from like a free to play beginner experience is just how big our community is and how knowledgeable so many of our members are, and how quickly you're able to really build a great squad on Disney Summoners Arena, because people are telling you for their experiences who to go after early on. Like, go after Sean Yu in the exchange. That's one of the probably the one character that I hear the more experienced players telling players to get is go to the exchange, get Sean Yu, get Sean Yu. He is so good. Get him to 7 stars. And so I think, yeah, just definitely from the beginner slash free to play perspective, just being able to have the knowledge of so many other players in our alliance and cluster to tell you kind of what are things to do and things not to do from their experiences.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely solid. So, did you have any questions coming in? I wasn't seeing any over here on the Disney Arena Pro channel. So, how's it looking from the Mint Choco Chip Gaming channel there?
It doesn't look like we have any questions, but no, feel free to drop any. I know the one thing that we also get a lot is, well, this is something that I guess maybe we talk about more within Sigma. Is kind of like what's the end game for Sigma? Like, where do we stop growing and doing a lot of this? And the answer is we never stop. We're from if anyone of you are familiar with the alliance over in Marvel Strike Force, that's 30 groups. I don't know what they're called in Marvel Strike Force because I personally don't play, but the Marvel Strike Force, whatever like the guild club equivalent is over there, there's 30 that are within the Sigma Alliance from Marvel Strike Force, and 16 I think within Star Wars. And so like, yeah, well, if we end up going that far, if we end up having that kind of a community, that that's fantastic and awesome for us. We have no problems with them. We're willing to support everybody that comes our way in that. So even if it seems like we're full right now, and maybe like the perfect club for you, but that doesn't mean that there aren't clubs that are open, where there are places to be. And if you want to move, movement's always voluntary. We do have the idea that if you're not really hitting the requirements for the club that you're in, there are other clubs that have lesser requirements that would be more comfortable for you, that would fit your play style. But for the most part, like, you're able to move around as much as you want. So it's all about finding where you want to be, finding what investment you're willing to get, and we're always going to have homes for everyone that comes. So don't be discouraged just because it looks like we might be full. That just means that we're ready to grow.
Makes sense. So, on that note, hey, it was spectacular hanging out with everybody. Looking forward, like I said, to seeing where things go there with Sigma and with what we're doing here at Disney Arena Pro, and looking forward to doing more Gameside chats. And who knows, we might even circle back around here before too long and do another Gameside chat in the future. I would absolutely love that. It's been fun hanging out tonight, guys. And on that note, I'm going to go ahead and close up the live streams from my end. If you want to hang out here and wrap things up after we're stopping streaming, I would be quite okay with that as well.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We'll see you around in the next live stream. Check out Young's. I don't know when yours is planned, but I'll probably do something fun tomorrow.
Yeah, while you're still talking there, what is your it's your Mint Choco Chip's birthday tomorrow. He said he's got something planned. So what time are you going to be streaming tomorrow?
Don't have a time set, but I do have a couple ideas about something that I'm going to do. My whole goal is to make it so that it's really fun for me, because I don't want to do anything boring on my birthday. So it's not just going to be regular PvP like I usually do.
Nice. No, that'll be spectacular. So I'm going to go ahead and I think I can just end the stream here on Restream.
Hey, Youngs, real quick, I think Rogue said there was a question.
You did have a question on your YouTube.
Oh,
nice.
Rogue, what's the question?
Ethanol asks, so how did you guys find Sorcerer's Arena?
Oh,
okay. Anybody want to start with that?
I can start. So I said this in the live stream I did with Yogs. One of the big things for me was I play another Disney game, and I'm very active in the community. I do make content over there as well. Not as actively right now, just because of some of the economy things that are happening over there. But something that I love. And I was talking to people in the community, and they were a beta tester actually over here at Sorcerers, and they're like, hey, we just got word beta is getting close to end. It's going to global launch. Check out the website. You can pre-register and you can check out the game. So that was something that was really cool to me. I checked it out and I pre-registered, and that's how I got in. So I was unable to join with the beta because I came a little too late. But I was close. I was able to actually get in with the pre-register. I don't know if there were like that many benefits other than the Sorcerer Mickey outfit that I got for free. But yeah, for the most part, like that's how I got in. Mobile gamer, from kind of what Rogue's similar. I've been a longtime gamer over at Star Wars, and then I have another Disney game, Disney Heroes Battle Mode, that I play, and brought me over here. And it's something that I've really enjoyed. I actually like this game a lot more for a whole mess of reasons, and that's kind of how I managed to get all the way into here. And I guess I invested enough to be able to end up being a leader within the Sigma cluster as well. I'll let Rogues and Jello talk a little bit more about how they actually found the game too.
I can go. For me, it was just I'm still playing Star Wars, but I'd gotten really tired of just all of the new content that's constantly coming out, beating all of my old content and trying to keep up with the pace of the game. So I just hopped on App Store and was like, what kind of games are out right now? Is there a new game that I wanted to play? First thing that popped up as a highlight on the App Store was Disney Sorcerer's Arena, and it was the day after global launch. So I was able to still get the pre-registration rewards too.
Nice. Yeah, and it's probably a similar situation. I was playing the Elder Scrolls Legend, which is a fairly fun CCG and for collectible card game. And that game, it was I can't remember exactly when they announced that the game was going into maintenance mode, which basically means that they weren't going to be actively creating any content. So, and that was, I don't know, February or March. And just with the timing on things, it made sense where I was kind of casually looking for another game to play. I even downloaded another CCG that I think was a newer one, and found similar in the App Store, Disney Sorcerer's Arena. And I was like, man, this game's got a lot of potential. And then with the timing on things, and just fell in love with the game. And I like the more the community building aspect of that. And like you guys already alluded to, if the club aspect wasn't prevalent in this game, I'm not sure, how fun that I would be. And I definitely wouldn't be anywhere near as engaged at the level that I am now, as far as wanting to set up more community aspects to support the hopefully growing community here. It'll be interesting to see where Glue takes this game. And I think a lot of that will rest on us as club leaders, as far as the experience that we're providing to our club members. Because, when we provide a solid experience to them and everybody's having fun and helping people win and continue to win at increasing levels, that really creates player-based retention, which is, healthy for any type of gaming community.
Yeah, Jello, how about you? How'd you find the game?
Yeah, so I'm constantly just looking for new games to play on my phone. And I always scroll through the pre-orders and the new games we love section on my phone on the App Store. And I was scrolling through the pre-orders one day and I was like, oh, a new Disney game's coming out. Like, this looks really cool. So I pre-ordered it, and I kind of had forgotten about it because I pre-ordered it like I think maybe a month or two before it was set to launch. And then my phone sent me a reminder and it was like, DSA is launching, like, go play it. And so I went and logged on and started playing, and I've been hooked ever since. And I actually stopped looking for new games to play because I enjoy playing this game so much that I don't feel like I need to play another game to keep me occupied. There's so much to do and like so much to learn in this game that it's really kind of occupied my time, and I've had a lot of fun with it.
All right, well, that sounds good. It was, again, great hanging out. I don't know if there was any other questions that came in. I wasn't seeing any. So thank you, Rogues, for catching that. That was a great opportunity for everybody to share a little additional backstory, how we ended up with where we're at here today.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, that was good. And yeah, I don't think there's anything else.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, indeed. And I'm gonna disconnect here. I think I might have to actually go in my channel. Let's see. I
Yeah.
am a restream novice here, so I think we did good getting it online though. So appreciate your help there, Mint and whatnot. So